Hello everyone, Richard here and welcome to a new weekly overview here on AltCryptoTalk. As May comes to an end, here are top 10 altcoins to buy in June. Are you ready? Let's dive straight into it. And of course, don't forget to smash that like button if you like such weekly updates. Starting with Arbitrum. After being bearish for almost a year, finally the momentum has been shifted to bullish. Lately we have been making higher lows and higher highs from daily time frame, from a medium term perspective. From H4 we have been in a correction phase. That's why we'll be looking for trend following longs. Yes, we are now bullish on almost all altcoins, signaling the start of the altcoin season or the potential last leg of the bull run. We are currently in this correction, which means it's a dip. In a bullish market, in a bull run, every bearish movement would be considered a correction and a dip. Thus, we'll be looking for trend following longs. For ARB, we are currently retesting the lower bound of this rising channel, if you want, or rising broadening wedge. That's why we'll be looking for short-term longs. From a long-term perspective, we still need a break above this entire accumulation phase between 0.25 and 0.5. Once we have it, a break above the 0.5 round number, we'll be expecting a continuation towards the 0.75 as a first target, first long-term target, one round number, and of course 1.5 last but not least. From H4 time frame for the bulls to take over and start the next impulse leg or impulse movement. Just like previously, a break above the upper bound of this falling channel will be needed. Next, second, we've got Sui. Of course, I've covered it a lot over the past couple of months through articles, videos, and weekly updates, because it's one of the best performers of this year. And of course, you all know about the hype regarding Sui. Anyway, from a technical perspective, from a price action standpoint, we are currently rejecting the 3.3, 3.5 support zone. Previously support, turned resistance, currently acting as support. If you zoom a little bit in, you can see an explosive movement from here, which means it's a very strong demand zone. So support and demand making this zone even stronger. From H4 time frame, we'll be looking for trend following longs. Just like previously, we broke above a high, another impulse movement started. We are now waiting for almost the same thing, like history repeating itself, right? Waiting for 3.75 to be broken to the upside, and we'll be expecting a short-term bullish movement on Sui towards the 4.2, 4.3, and then for the bulls to remain in control, a break above the 4.3, 4.35 will be needed. In this case, we'll be expecting a new all-time high for Sui, targeting the 5.5 as a first target, and then of course expecting the 10 round number for Sui this cycle. Next, third, we've got ZK. From weekly time frame, it's rejecting 0.05, a massive round number. I also mentioned ZK when I was mentioning 10 altcoins rejecting the 0.05. Anyway, we are now bullish. Just like ARB that we started with, we have been bearish, but then after breaking above this last major high as mentioned previously, we are now overall bullish, trading within this rising broadening wedge. We are currently, just like ARB, in a correction phase, waiting for the bulls to take over to start or to signal the start of the next bullish wave. From a long-term perspective, we need a break above this major high at 0.086, but from a short-term perspective, we are looking for this movement like this, a new major high to form here around 0.065, and then a break above it to signal the start of the impulse movement. But long story short, we are bullish, trading within this rising broadening wedge, waiting for the bulls to take over and to signal the start of the next impulse phase. Next, virtual. The hype is there for virtual. We've posted a lot about it this week, and as you clearly see, it's following our analysis like a charm. As mentioned or expected, we wanted a break above this 2.3 to signal the start of the next bullish wave. If you zoom a little bit in, we can see that previously we have been overall bearish, broke above this high, now bullish. Every correction, as mentioned in the beginning of this video, would be a dip to look for trend following longs. Anyway, as mentioned yesterday, if we break above this 2.3, we'll be expecting further bullish movement to the upside. I'm expecting this movement, a retest, and then the real biggest aggressive leg to be expected towards the 4.4. Now, every bearish movement would be a correction to look for trend following longs. So you are not late on virtual. keep on watching this one and look for trend following longs on every retest. Next, KAITO. Also one of the best performers, at least for this month. As you clearly see, we pushed from 0.7 towards the 2.25. We are currently trading within this big range as a rising channel, just like this. On daily time frame, if you break above the 2.25, we'll be expecting further upside towards the all-time high or potential all-time high around 2.953 round number. Meanwhile, every correction would be a good area to be looking for trend following longs. In this case, if you have a retest, we'll be targeting a short-term target around the 2.25. But if you break above the 2.25 upward, we'll be expecting a continuation, a longer-term one towards the 3 round number. Next, Link, one of my favorite OGs like Solana, NATIX, now Pole, and so on, EOS, ADA, so the list goes on. Anyway, Link has survived over 3 cycles previously, and it's one of my favorites. If you dig deeper into the project, you will love it. From a technical perspective, the 15.5 has been a very strong support zone, previously resistance, support here, currently acting as support as price is retesting it from the upper side. So rejecting this area for the bulls to take over medium to short term, a break above this minor high at 16 will be needed. In this case, I'll be expecting something like this, but long term we need a break above this 18 round number resistance. As you see, it's a very strong one, has been holding for a couple of years already. If you break it to the upside, I'll be expecting a big leg towards the 25. Long story short, if you hold above 15, look for short-term longs, target 18. If you break above the 18 round number mark, we'll be expecting a bigger bullish leg. INJ, as mentioned a couple of weeks ago, and then last market outlook, we are looking for longs here around the 6.5 round number, a very strong demand zone intersecting with the lower bound of this falling channel. Daily time frame, as mentioned, if you break above this last major high, we'll be expecting the momentum to be shifted from bearish to bullish for the start of the correction phase. Yes, correction, because we are still trading within this big falling channel. So we've got this big correction, which would be around 2x, because from 15 towards the 30, 35 even. So it's a correction, yes, but it's a big one, targeting or a potential 2x. As you can see, we broke above this last high at 11.3, so now we turned bullish. We looked for trend following longs here, and as mentioned previously, as long as we are bullish and a bullish movement, every bearish movement would be a good signal, a good opportunity for us to look for trend following longs. So if you get the retest here, you can look for longs targeting the upper bound of this falling channel, as you saw from daily time frame, which would be perfectly intersecting with this previous major high. I'm talking about 24.25. Next, Plume. Daily time frame around a very strong support zone, also round number 0.15. Previously resistance, broken to the upside, support, and we haven't broken below it yet. That's why 0.14, 0.15 is still acting as a support zone for the bulls to take over short term and to signal the start of this big bullish wave towards the next resistance around 0.19, 0.2. We need a break above the 0.163. If you break to the upside, I'll be targeting the upper bound of this range starting from 0.19. Just like previously, broke a high, pushed higher. Breaking a high would signal a start of this next bullish wave. Of course, meanwhile, if we retest this lower bound around 0.14, 0.15, we'll be looking for new short-term longs. Ethena, very strong support zone. We have this support area here around 0.33, 0.36, and this resistance right there. Previously, we were trading within, if you want to call it a floor, like imagine this is a building, this is the first floor, this is the second floor. Previously, we were trading within the first floor, looking for longs here, targeting the upper bound or the ceiling, and now we've broken above the ceiling, which became a new floor for the second floor. Anyway, you've got the idea. We've got the support here, or what we called the floor. That's why we are looking for longs, and now targeting the next resistance around 0.5 round number. Very clear on daily time frame, as you can see. So now I'm looking for longs as long as the 0.33 support holds, targeting the 0.5, 0.53. from H1 time frame already broke above this previous major high. That's why I'm expecting another leg short-term target around this previous major high at 0.44. Last but not least, NATIX. As mentioned in this last video here on the YouTube channel, you can see that we've waited for first a breakup of this for the bulls to take over short term, and then a breakup of this 0.009 for the bulls to take over long term and target the previous all-time high around 0.017, and this is exactly what happened. We broke above this resistance zone and pushed higher like 200%. Anyway, now we are currently around the upper band, so of course you booked profit, or if you haven't yet, I'll be advising you to take profit or book some profit because a correction is now expected. Of course, if and only if we break below this channel. If you break it to the downside, I'll be expecting a movement, a correction towards the 0.001, which is a very strong ground number, also a demand zone. Meanwhile, if you are still holding, we are still overall bullish from a short-term perspective. Here we go, we've got this rising channel and we are currently around the lower bound of it. That's why you can look for short-term longs here, targeting the 0.0016, 0.00165, this area. If we break above the 0.0017, we'll be expecting another bullish wave targeting or reaching new all-time highs in a price discovery phase. But for now, we are retesting the all-time high, so I'm expecting some sort of correction. Long story short, you can look for longs, target this previous all-time high. If you break to the downside, we'll be expecting a correction towards the 0.001, where we'll be looking for new short-term and long-term longs. That's it for this video for 10 altcoins to buy in June. Let me know if you would like me to go for part 2, or you would like me to go over a specific topic, like for example how to know if the bull run has started, which we covered previously, and we were like around the perfect timing because once I released the video, the next couple of days everything happened as we wanted and confirming the start of the bull run. And I'll see you hopefully on the next one.